Lee Randall.
That would be cruel, wouldn't it?
Lee Randall, who did my all-time favourite fan prediction for the season.
Right.
Obviously, he picked his team to go unbeaten all year.
Yeah.
Given that there is no team for him to support with the all goals out of the mix. But his prediction is that the Bristol Rugby League club won't even start the 2019 season, giving him no one to support for another year.
Oh dear. Cutthroat Jake says Leeds will beat Melbourne in the World Club Challenge by 40 points, with Ryan Hall running in 4 tries.
Rich Langley says Hull KR fans to focus on something other than Hull FC pot kettle black. Toronto to sign more Super League players, and Nigel Wood's replacement to push Rugby League forward significantly and immediately surpass their predecessor.
Andy Barden, the electric gigolo himself, says...
The Brit renegade.
The British, you'll always be the electric gigolo to me. Jared Hayne decides he wants to follow his long-lost dream, leaves the NRL to play for Shrewsbury.
Paul Michael Craig said the RFL to admit 3 new North American teams, and then a month later the Wolfpack will go into voluntary administration.
God. Mike Dodd says Benny Westwood not to have any bans across the season. Lou McCarthy Scarsbrook will shave his greasy locks.
I think he has cut his hair.
He has,
I think there has been a charity thing.
Yeah, he cut his hair for charity before the World Cup,
did he donate it to...
It's a charity that makes wigs for all people, yeah. I presume it's for people with cancer, or it might just be a wig, regardless. But no, he did it for charity, didn't he? So, sorry, Mike, we're sort of taking the wind out of the sails a little bit there, didn't we?
His next one is a shockingly outlandish prediction.
Liam Watts not to get a red card for the entire season. Jake Conn not to be a prick.
That was my favourite when I read it.
There you go. Mark not to have a rant across the season. Here's hoping that doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, I hope I get to have a rant too, guys.
I agree too. Next up.
Joshua's granddad says Wayne to be the first coach first coach sacked, replaced by Lockers, Maguire to get sent off for arguing with refs as they realise he is no longer in a Leeds shirt.
Yeah, I wonder how long it takes for that to happen. Dominic Barker says Zach Hardacre will sign for a rugby union team.
Interesting. I don't know what the 2-year ban applies to from UK anti-doping. We have a different system, obviously, to other places. Lee Whitnell says Luke Gale will forget to wash the shit nuts out of his arse hair that he's had surgically grafted to his scalp. The Rugby League media will declare it a fashion triumph, and the Sky commentary team will be seen sporting their own poodoos the following week in reference to their hero.
Yeah, his hair is it. I mean, look, fair play, Luke Gale, you've got the money to do it, but it just looks shit.
We'll wait and see it grow out, see how that
Have you made any inquiries yourself?
No.
No? Okay. Mitch Dart says Gary Lowe to do Gary Lowe things and get 50 tries in his first season in the Super League.
Who thought Mitch would come up with anything else?
I hope so.
Neil McEwen says Dr. Kukash to buy Widnes after him not being appreciated by Salford fans. Finger crossed the inbreds down the road are not celebrating their year again. Haha. Danny Craven to win Man of Steel for a last minute drop goal to win the Challenge Cup. Kev Judas Brown to win fuck all again.
Okay, there you go. Dr. Bob Phillips says 1. Tom remembers every single recording date and venue through the season. It's going to be easier for me.
Yeah, well.
2, Emma's standing.
The Emmas, both Emmas.
Emma's standing and doing a podcast one week as the boys are too unwell. And 3, the stand-up IT genius works out a way of streaming cam content from every match and gives the Super League family access to it.
Get on it, Dom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarah McKenzie says Luke Gale's hair transplant was done by a Wakey fan, and by the start of the season it's growing red, white and blue. Danny Maguire breaks his leg and retires before playing a competitive 80 minutes for Rovers. Fat Boy Rob wears a pair of trousers instead of shorts to a match.
Oh, I hope he always wears shorts to match. Shorts to matches has got to be the way to go. St David says Wakey to make progress on their ground. Sorry, you said between possible and improbable. Wayne to get the chop. Gary Hetherington to appoint Kath Hetherington as the RFL CEO, reporting directly to him. Hull KR to beat Hull FC with a bizarre last-minute VR decision and magic. Tom to get a bit pissed at the Summer Bash, forget to turn up for another Super League part. It wasn't the Summer Bash that I got too pissed at. That was a gig in a park in Polton-le-File. That was perfectly fine after the Summer Bash.
You did arrive for that show, yeah. John Cassidy, Esquire, says Sean O'Loughlin to finally retire, Sam Tompkins to rip it up at 6, Salford to go down, Gail to turn up to the first game with a hair transplant, well, that is happening, and Tom to get a sex change.
This is all a bit like, I'm starting to feel like I've had my decision sort of vindicated a little bit here, you horrible bastard.
I'm starting to feel like people knew you deserved a
Ben Jones says Danny Maguire leads Hull KR to cup success whilst Hull FC fall out of the Super 8s.
God, they're obsessed with each other, aren't they?
They just need to get into
my dad told me where he works. He was in a facilities meeting at the office in Hull,
right.
And there was basically an argument for most of a meeting between a Hull fan, an FC fan and a KR fan about what the new colour of chairs are to be in the new canteen. Until someone stepped in who didn't care and said, "This is ridiculous. We're having blue," or something to that effect. But basically, it had to be a load of non-interested parties getting involved and say, "Shut up, you two."
Yeah, text that, doesn't it? Really. Next, Sean Ainscow.
Rob Ainscow. Sean Lawless. Sean Lawless to be a guest on Sky Sports panellist following his recent Wigan Fan TV appearances. We'll see how he goes.
Yep. Ethan O'Gorman's first prediction: Fatboy Rob will go the whole year without mentioning the words "sat on toilet" in his tweets. Ben Barber will be done for drugs again, and Mark and Tom will finally reveal their long-lost love for each other and get married at the DW. Well, that would require quite a lot of fairly serious life-changing decisions, wouldn't it?
Paperwork as well.
Yeah.
Not really a fan of all that paperwork.
No, we'll just have to elope. Okay, who's next?
Well, our love hasn't been lost.
No,
it's not long lost.
No, it's not long lost. It's
the love is there. It's the lust that might push over the line into marriage.
Like
that is lacking.
We're like an old couple, really, aren't we? Just sort of, very good. Okay.
Chris Illing, with no relation to me, says...
I think he's a Bulls fan, Chris. I see him on Bulls Forum.
Yeah. Top try scorer to have more than 45 tries in the Super League season alone.
Okay. AK Still 69 says Sean Wayne to announce he is to live his life as a woman, and now respectfully requests that the media call him Shauna from now on.
There's a theme about this cross gender.
I know. There's a lot of insecure people out there, I reckon.
Well, I think we're just now very. The Super League pod family is a very trans comfortable community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tom Carr, Saints to win the grand final by whitewashing Wigan 40-0.
Matt Hardiker says Sam Tompkins fails a drugs test.
John Davies says 3 North American teams will join the RFL in 2019, and with Super League teams, introduction of a 14 to 15 team franchise. I don't know why I put this one in. Franchise system for 2019.
Well, thanks, John.
But agreed in 2018, Championship and League One get a TV deal. It just didn't make me laugh.
There you go. Sean Lawless.
It's a good one, but it didn't make me laugh.
Fair enough. Sean Lawless from Wigan Fan TV, or Meal Ticket as Mark calls him. Eddie Hearn will reach an agreement with...
I'm getting some free... I might be getting some free Uncle Joe's Windballs.
There you go. See? Meal Ticket. Eddie Hearn will reach an agreement with the Super League club owners to help run Super League, including a new Super League 2 league, taking into account the expansion teams.
Daniel Moxon. I don't know why I put that one in from Sean Upford, is my new friend. Daniel Moxon.
New dad.
New Tom. Daniel Moxon says Castleford Tigers to win the grand final and right the wrongs from last year, and Zach Hardacre to get a 12-week ban and play some part in what will be a fantastic piece of history for the club.
There you go. Tom, no relation, says... So there's OFC get a large number of injuries, particularly in the forwards. Gareth Ellis will play another few games for Hull.
That's a good one. I like those ones.
Yeah.
I think we've got another similar one later on. John Murray says another person with no idea of rugby league to get Nigel Wood's job. Ben Barber to go home. Cass to finish out of the top 4.
There you go.
I don't think knowledge of rugby league was Nigel Wood's problem. I think it was ability to do anything else right.
I think he was probably hamstrung by a clunky sort of mechanism and set of systems and internal strife at the RFL.
No, there was some serious fuck-ups under his watch too.
Yeah. Well,
the Stobart deal
true.
and the year without sponsorship spring to mind.
I'm not saying he's the greatest.
But he loved rugby league.
I'm not saying he's the greatest thing that ever happened to rugby league, but he does know rugby league.
Inside out,
yeah. Absolutely. Just not how to run it.
He knows how to get money out of it.
Where are we up to? John Murray. No. Pete Jackson says, I'd say this year's going to be Warrington's year, but you said it has to be something possible.
Ricardo Shilly-Shally said, Robert De Niro admits he's a Wigan fan and buys the club. Meanwhile, all the clubs decide to get rid of the cap and return to winter rugby.
Perfect timing for Wigan then. Dave Chadwick says that we all know what league structure will be in place and we finally stick to it. Plus, an American-Canadian league is formed with 10 teams who have their own league and own country players in which to grow their game there.
Andrew Carter says Ben Barber to leave before the season ends.
There you go. Steve McCulley says Warrington treble, it's always our year. Loads of laughy face emoticons there. Just to enjoy another season of rugby, and he hearts Super League.
Brilliant. Tom Eckley. Matty Blythe realises that security isn't for him and that Super League can't survive without him. Expect him to return in round 12 for Leeds, where he will stand out in a 4-try showcase before going back to the physio's room. Still, he'll get Man of Steel, though.
Do you know what? Actually, Matty Blythe, I wouldn't say that is too far from the truth. I could put him down for a Jamie Foster, Gene Ormsby-esque cameo somewhere middle of the season. Someone will be that shorn of players that they might go,
but bottom end of the championship, not
maybe not
middle of Super League.
Maybe not. Ryan Wilkinson says Eddie Hearn to come in and shake things up, finally putting the English Super League on the world map.
Bob says Ferramo to be top try scorer.
It's a shout, isn't it?
Yes, it's a bit out there, that one.
Paul Walton says BBC improve their coverage of our great game. Ellery Hanley comes out of retirement and wins the Steve Prescott Man of Steel.
Hey, I reckon he'd have a good crack at it.
He'd do alright. I think he could still do a job, Ellery Hanley.
The quality of the BBC's coverage isn't terrible, it's the quantity that we want more of.
Yeah, I like BBC's coverage, to be honest.
I just wish we got more of it at more convenient times, maybe.
Did you watch any of the first round of the Challenge Cup stream? Did you?
Yes, I watched.
Catch, was it Rochdale Mayfield?
Yeah, against Crossfield.
Kicking from the scrum. Did you see that? Was that them?
Yeah, just before half time. Yeah, and there was a dog on the pitch and all went off.
God, I love rugby league.
It did make me feel way more excited for the season than I'd been feeling up to that stage, though, so that was good.
They are.
Where we Andy Wilby. England to pick a team on form. Steve McNamara to take over his 17th coaching job in the past 12 months. And Hull KR to celebrate a victory against Hull FC like they've just won the double.
You think they might beat them once out of the 3 games? So they probably will do. Albany85, Rob Burrow to unretire after injuries force him to come to the Rhinos first team rescue.
I do like those ones. DG Knight, this is one of my favourites. Nigel Wood signs as a forward for the Toronto Wolfpack. That's what he's doing, getting his North American links in.
That's it. He's
getting a transfer sorted.
That's it. Okay, Paul Whiteside says, without a Wembley appearance for almost 50 years that would make my Salford supporting life almost complete. I've had a heartbroken 4 semi-finals, 88, 97, 99 and 2017. So just want that day at Wembley. Also fancy Widnes to finish in the top 8 despite people's predictions. They have some good young players.
That is a say what.
That is a say what, isn't it?
Aidan Stalker says, after winning the Man of Steel, Alex Walmsley becomes a woman and lives happily ever after as his lover.
How many days before Aidan Stalker needs a hip replacement, do you think, if that
they
was the
would
case?
Be a serious mismatch.
Yeah.
Aidan's not the tallest bloke.
Right. Well, maybe that's what Walmsley sees in him.
What? The ability to get a reflection off his ball there.
Such a funny little mate, isn't he?
Funny little mate.
He's funny
little mate from Tipperary.
That's it, there you go. Dom Hodgson says Barry Hearn decides to dip his toe into rugby league by buying the Swinton Lions.
And Colin James, a fan of the Swinton Lions, says Eddie Hearn is invited in and immediately tries to implement the original plans for a European Super League by merging clubs. He stripped all funding for anyone not in Super League and tells them to go and die. Everyone realises he's not the saviour. He gets booted out after 2 weeks. Nigel Woods reclaims his throne and is awarded a knighthood for services to rugby league.
There you go. That's towards the end of improbable, isn't it?
What do you think about this Hearn's?
Well, I don't know what kind of gravity he has behind him being his own best publicist, and someone asked him a question that he answered perfectly well, but has made no overtures to actually doing anything about. It's just a good soundbite for him, isn't it?
A lot of rugby league people love the darts, and the darts is well promoted. It's well attended for what it is, and it seems to not do any harm in drawing crowds and sponsors and fun and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If you can add some of that to the Super League brand, not a problem. But these blokes are in it for themselves, not for our game.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's got anything
taking over anywhere, anything other than a brand aspect of the Super League promotion.
Yeah.
Would do no favours for me whatsoever.
I would be much happier having to do some research and learn about a sports administrator who's come in and that I've never heard of that may have been involved in another parallel kind of sport, so netball, or do you know what I mean? Someone who's done.
Who got Kabaddi where it was?
Exactly.
So
someone I would rather be learning about an astute businessman whose name I've never bloody heard of than Eddie Hearn, because you've heard of him, and he did it with the darts, and he likes boxing, so he could do that for Super League. I think it's a bit 1 + 1 equals about 5 for me, or -5, really. Because apart from one soundbite and one quote about the quality of rugby league as a sport and how it's been mismanaged, well, we could all say that. It doesn't mean we're going to be taking over, does it?
And I'm fed up enough of like the way the press goes these days in sports. I don't want some sort of boxing pre-match style wind up for every single game of rugby league. I want people to get on.
Can you imagine doing a press conference?
Grow together rather than